Hello, everybody. All of one person, or my chat's not working, maybe. Oh, there we go. Dave Hart acousticized, JBP. I know there's a few more people peeping, lurkers. Hello. Hopefully my chat's working. We're gonna have an exciting night tonight. For those of you that are watching later, just go ahead and skip right on through until you see Matt Jones up on the from Digstock up on the screen, and then you can start watching. DC Diggin from North Carolina. How you doing? Oh, by the way, guys, go over to Dave Hart acousticized to his post. He is raising. I think he's right at the end of reaching his goal for raising money for the MDA. So after this, if you want to go over and toss a couple dollars, even $1, it helps out. Helps him achieve his goal. I think he was like that close to his goal. So we all should give him a hand because he's really literally just a millimeter away from reaching his goal. He did a lot of work on it. So we should thank him for that. Hey, Colleen Workman, you're in New Heights. Has Taylor Swift live right now. Oh, okay. Well, who can compete against Taylor Swift? I think I can, but that's my personal opinion. But yeah. So welcome to Wednesday night shenanigans. Tonight we're going to talk about Digstock. We're going to ask Matt the questions, about what the VIP program is and all that. The event coming up. No, can't give you the location ahead of time because of Nighthawks. Once you purchase a ticket, you'll get but he'll explain all that to you. And the restructuring and the exciting news that's happening with Digstock expansion and all that stuff. So without any more delays, because I'm pretty sure Matt would like to come up and talk to you guys. Hey, Jackson. I'm going to go ahead and bring him up. And I don't have fanfare, but yay! It's the face of Digstock. How you doing tonight, Matt?
The face or the rear end, one of the two.
Well, hopefully it's your face on the camera right now. Sometimes I'm not wearing my glasses. But yeah, we got some good folks here tonight so far. They'll all start coming in here. Iron Antler's actually live for another, I don't know, 25 minutes or so. So a few of his people will come over. And then, like I said, there'll be people that watch this later.
Sure.
So I think most of us saw your post on Digstock, the actual Digstock page recently about the exciting news going on with restructuring, reward programs, expansion, 5 Mile, what's up, and stuff like that. So do you want to? Well, let's just start with. I'm sure everybody saw the Digstock, and I'm going to mess it up. Roots and Relics. I didn't mess it up that time. So what is Roots and Relics for the people who don't know?
Okay, so Roots and Relics, and I can see where there's some it could be some confusion there, and I'm glad I'm on here so I can kind of clear that up a little bit. So Roots and Relics is essentially a franchised sister company through us. We own a percentage of it, but another individual owns the majority of it. And basically, they will be taking over doing smaller events. So Digstock is going to step back, and we're going to try and go back to our roots, which was kind of the name for the Roots and Relics. We want to take Digstock back to its original roots, where we hold two, large flagship events a year. Like the one in Chazy or the one in Peru or the one in Leggett, just large events. And that's all Digstock is going to do. We'll do one in the spring and one in the fall. And they will not solely be in North Carolina anymore. We have two contracts out right now that are not in North Carolina. One is up your way and one is farther than your way. And they're for the fall. And then, so Roots and Relics will step in between the spring and the fall and they will hold smaller events, cater to, 5 people or 100 people,
Right.
or personal level. So, say somebody wants to go and dig, a Civil War cannonball. They've never dug a cannonball before. We'll go and find a property that's 100 acres that'll hold 5 people and have like a little VIP hunt. You want to go do an arrowhead event, on 600 acres with 100 people. Roots and Relics will head that up. And they'll just do these smaller individual hunts, throughout the months, all throughout the year, all over the country, to give people more of an opportunity to go dig something on a smaller scale level, on a more personal level.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really cool way to do it. Like, because I mean, it takes a lot of logistics to put on even just one huge hunt, but to do 2 a year. And I know people are usually wanting more from you. I hear people, I see the posts, I hear them talking at the event because, I'm usually around the tables, and I know they would love to do a Digstock type event year round if they could. So that would fulfill definitely a lot of people that, want to do more, events, even though it's like a partner of or an extension of Digstock.
Correct. It's just like if you go to, like I used this example earlier, if you go to a Ford dealership and you go to buy a Ford truck, but you get it financed through Wells Fargo credit company, so you're buying a truck through Wells Fargo in corporation with Ford Motor Company. It's just an incorporated branch of that company. And it, like you say, it does take, realistically, to run these large events, and big events like that aren't for everybody. Everybody doesn't like the crowds,
Exactly. That's, I mean, like that's good too,
right,
to have the smaller,
and that was
more
the
club
idea.
size.
Right. That was the idea behind it, was to offer that to people, because realistically, I don't have the time running these events. They take, 6, 8 months to a year to plan, between the logistics and driving back and forth and the maps and, everything that's detailed in it. I don't have time to do these smaller events. So that's why we've given it to somebody else to do. That was the idea behind it anyway.
No, I think that the idea makes a lot of sense, because there are people that, if there's 5, 6, 750, or the one with over 1,000, right?
Yeah.
That's can be overwhelming for a lot of people, because this hobby is made up of extroverts as well as introverts, and it's really more of an introvert hobby if you think about it, because you're by yourself while you're swinging. You can't swing right next to somebody.
Oh yeah.
So a smaller scale, or maybe financially they can't make it to the big event,
Right.
between the ticket prices, hotel rooms, food, gas, getting there.
Correct.
A smaller event would be more logistic for them, and it makes a ton of sense, and I think it's a very exciting thing to do. I just want to say hi real quick to a few people. Tom Kingery, Viento Samurai, FL Thunder Digging with Rob. We got somebody from Canada, Metal Detecting Canada, Piney Man, and Patty D. I probably missed somebody, and if I did, you could just at me and I'll see you. No, I like that idea of it, and then it gives more opportunities to hit more, I guess, Digstock theme on a smaller scale event.
Right. Right. And see, I want people to know that, I hear them. I mean, I hear you. I see the comments. I hear the rumors. I talk to people. I hear things, and I'm trying my best to cater to everyone and make it the best time it can be for everybody.
Right, and it's really hard to please everybody all the time.
Trust me, I know.
So honestly, like I say all the time, I've said it in the events and reviews page on Facebook. Look, when you're looking for reviews and you see a bad review, kind of look at that bad review. Are they butthurt? Because a lot of them are. They're just complaining. Wah, wah, wah. I didn't get what I thought I would get. I didn't get my bucket list, or wah, wah, wah. And some people have a complaint that's actually really constructive criticism. Hey, Johnny Small Pepper. And Colleen, I didn't say hi to you, I don't think. So you could, I kind of, when I read reviews, I kind of overlook the ones where, their feelings were hurt or whatever, like they had high expectations and their expectations weren't met.
Right.
We put that on ourselves. An event can't do that. Um, but the ones that were like, well, the night hunt, with the pinpointers, blah blah
Oh
blah,
yeah.
and you could take those complaints as constructive criticism when they're not doing it in a whiny way. I don't know any nice way to put it, but not in a
Oh
whiny
yeah.
way, but just in a. This is my observation. I felt that it was a little hard on their knees,
Right.
so and but yeah, Colleen said people expectations are selfishly out of whack. Sometimes, I mean, we're all human. We're prone to that. We're prone to when we're excited about something. Um, I won't mention the one before Digstock, but go into the first Digstock from Shazy. The excitement, I'm going to see all these people. I'm so excited. I hope, I never put, I want to find. I
Right.
expect to find. I always said I hope to find. I don't even know. I think I found a cow tag and a couple like horse buckles, but nothing to, make a video about anyway.
Right.
um, but I wasn't disappointed because it's a natural hunt and it's just like going to a new permission and I'm not guaranteed anything.
Yeah. You either
The only,
get on it or you don't.
right. The only thing I'm guaranteed is to have a good time because I'm there with 1,000 or with the Roots and Relics branch of it, 150 or 5 people just like me
That's right.
that came from somewhere else. Some people I don't get to see, in real life because, you know, we're miles and miles and miles apart and we see each other on YouTube or we see each
Right.
other on Facebook. So I look at it that I could go on vacation at Disney World and blow 10 grand in a week, or I can go to Digstock and spend a couple grand.
You
It's
know, and
going to be
I will say, I want to make it, clear that Digstock, Digstock will get back to its roots. So our two large events a year, those will be the ones that are the full blown, big circus tents, thousands in giveaways, sponsors there, the tournaments, the cash giveaways, all that stuff. As to where Roots and Relics will be more catered towards like no frills, no sponsors, no giveaways. You come and we talk to you on the back of a tailgate or, standing on the ground and we all go hunt and then we go about our separate ways on a more personal level.
right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new era.
Me too.
I gotta say, as a side note, I had fun making that thumbnail. Really, I took a picture from last year's North Carolina of the table,
Right.
and I made it black and white, and H did a little bit with editing, so that it looked like because it says the new era. I was like, well, then I need a photo that looks like an old dig stock,
I got you.
But that was fun, and so that's the exciting stuff on the larger and smaller scale hunts, which is awesome, and 2 big hunts a year. So hopefully I don't have to travel too far for both of them. Well, you
Not
said
too
one's
far.
by me.
Not too far.
Um, so on to the next thing that I know people were curious about, and that's the what do you have, VIP or rewards or
Mm-hmm. So we tried the loyalty thing several years ago, and the problem with that was it had to be done manually because the um, what do you call it, the server that we were using through our website did not offer that, so we had to manually go on a spreadsheet and put 3,900 people on it, and then every time somebody bought a ticket we had to go in there and manually add points, and it became too much to keep up with trying to run the events and and all that stuff. Um, Sorry, that popped up there. I squirreled. So we we brought back loyalty rewards by like popular demand. Now, the new website is all integrated into that server. So now when you buy a case or you buy a detector or you buy a coil or you come to an event, when your birthday pops up, when you sign up, when you buy a ticket, it all populates reward points. And then once you get to a certain point percentage, you can redeem those, for discounts on merchandise on the site, events, detectors, headphones, coils, hats, cases, et cetera. So just like you do at Food Line or Best Buy or Walmart, just same thing. But we just wanted a way to give back, to the people that come and support us, and kind of as a thank you. And then the VIP thing, that was just an idea. It's actually done better than I thought. We've probably got 30 or 40 people that have signed up for it. All three tiers. And it's basically just another way of saying, thank you. Those people that really want to support us, that really want to come, to event after event after event. It's a way of giving them, a few extra perks that the general person doesn't get. Like, when you go to a concert, you can pay a little extra money to go backstage and see the artist backstage. You wear a pass, you get to go shake his hand and take his picture. Nobody wants to take a picture with me, but, put up a little tent, an enclosed tent, if it's cold outside, we'll throw a heater in there, a place for you to warm up, provide you snacks rather than just free water, little perks here and there. You can park closer to the headquarters rather than way out in the field. Just little things here and there that we think people will appreciate.
I think they will too. I think that's a great idea. I mean, otherwise they're gonna help out like I do.
Right.
That means you can't hunt. I'm only teasing. No, I mean that's I think that's really awesome. I think a lot of people that are really huge Digstock fans like DC Digging, that's a definite an idea for them. Like I think anytime you treat it like a VIP, spending a little extra to be treated that way is well worth it. And then especially with the parking. And then when it's hot out and having shade,
right,
you don't have to worry about other people being in there or trying to cram in and making it hotter. Hey, Practical Ken, hey boy.
And I brought back the military thing. If you're in the military, if you're retired, if you're a teacher or a firefighter, police officer, EMT, first responder, you click the little link there, you upload your ID, it goes through GovX, which is a third party that just IDs to make sure that you're who you say you are, right. And you get 5% off a ticket as soon as you buy a ticket.
You get more postal workers if you do us too, because we never get nothing and we're government workers. We worked every day during the the vid.
Right.
So the VIP and the stuff like that. So I understand that so many people were so excited that the site crashed for a moment.
It did actually. It actually went down. That was a first. I've never experienced that. We went live. When I said I think I kind of misspoke. When I said tickets are going live at 5 a.m., I didn't mean for people to wake up at 5 a.m. to sign up. I was just trying to get them online before people woke up. So when they did wake up, they'd be there. Well, apparently a lot of people got up at 5 o'clock because as soon as it went live, there was 4,700 people on the website all at once, and it literally died for a couple hours. I mean, it crashed.
I mean, that's something beyond your control, but I mean, it does take a lot of people to crash a server at one time. So that tells you the interest right there in Digstock. Whether or not they're buying tickets, they're checking it out.
Right.
But to have that many people waiting, and on the California side, that means they're getting up at 2 a.m.
Right.
to get on this website, and that's crazy. I saw your post. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know why people were sending me messages saying that the site was down. I'm like, it's not down. And so I jump on the computer and it's down on my end too. And I'm getting messages from the owners of the server like we're trying, but apparently you overloaded the system in a short amount of time. So yeah, that was a first.
No, I mean, it sucks for the people that were trying to get on and for you having to wait for it to come back up, but it's still, I think it's awesome. I do. I mean, it would suck if I was trying to get on that morning and it was down,
Right.
but as a person that wasn't trying to get on that morning, I think it sucks that it crashes. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I just think it's awesome for the company that so many people are interested that you guys crashed the server. That's nuts. It takes a lot of people to crash a server. Oh, there you go. Practical Ken said he really likes the smaller crowd, 500 tickets and 7,000 acres. He doesn't like the larger crowds. Great move for Digstock.
I appreciate it, Ken.
DC says, I like the new website mobile version.
So speaking on that, actually, so I designed the mobile side of the website to be more user friendly per se, where you don't have a lot of text to read through. It's kind of plain and simple. But to touch on that, I am designing an app that is included within my server that will be available for download on Apple Play Store and Android Play Store. I don't know. I'm not sure what Apple's. I guess it's Apple. Wherever you go to download your apps, where you can download the Digstock app. And what I feel that will do is, because one of the issues that we've always had is the day of the hunt when people are out in the field. If we need a way to get information to a person, if you put it on Facebook or you send it in an email, they may or may not read it. But everybody has a cell phone. So now with this app, I can send push notifications to everybody out in the field, everybody that's carrying a cell phone. So everybody gets it, through the app. If somebody lost something, they can make a comment on there and it pushes it out to everybody, saying that they lost their wallet or their credit card or a key or whatever. And it's more of it's an easier networking idea. And then, I want to say this before I forget it. Another big complaint has always been the check-in,
right?
Especially if it's cold and raining and windy. People don't like to stand in a line for 2 or 3 hours while we look through name tags and give you a clothes hanger or a safety pin and a name tag. So now the new site, there's no more name tags. I'll never do name tags again. Now, when you purchase a ticket, you get an actual ticket in your email, and it has a QR code on it. And when you roll up to check in, we literally scan your QR code and you're checked in. I mean, we can just go right down the line and scan. And it's.
So what are you doing with that? That makes sense. It's kind of like they do at concerts.
Right.
But a concert fenced in, nobody could sneak in from around back. So are you going to be like an armband or?
Yep. So everybody will get a certain color neon branded Digstock wristband. That they have to wear, and it has to be, where I can see it on your hat, your wrist, your neck, wherever you can fit it. And that way, if I don't see somebody with a wristband, I know they're not supposed to be there.
All right. That makes sense. That's a good idea. I like that. Cause looking for the name tags was kind of.
Oh yeah.
Although I got to say, I was one of the fastest. I moved that line. No, I'm kidding. Tim Silver's here. He says he's got his ticket. Looking forward to another great event.
I appreciate it, Tim.
Popped in. Practical Ken, I already said Yodi. Gene P. Gene P's been to a few of yours.
Yeah, I've heard a few familiar names in there.
Yeah. Well, Ken's been to a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky Duck's been to a lot. Colleen, Lucky Duck said, I like my name tags. I put them with my fines. Wristbands are good. I still have a whole fistful of the little rubber ones.
Right.
I really need to give them to people at a club hunt or something.
So I would like to touch on something because this will be going. I can say it here as a preview. And then even after the fact, people will be able to hear it here in other podcasts. One of the issues that I'm seem to be running into is we changed the way that the public information is available. So in the past,
I was going to get to that. Yeah.
When you log into the site, you could see hotels, places to stay, airports to fly into, places to go, your family could go while you're out detecting, et cetera, et cetera. And I changed it because we were having people, the haters per se, that, sit in mom's basement on their computer, and they try and triangulate where this site is. And then they post what they think is the site, out on a public information somewhere, another forum that we can't see. And before you know it, there's a wildfire because of rumor mill. That fact, and the fact that in the past, Digstock 3, we put this information out. We rode around the property the night before, and made sure.
Was that the 7-day one?
Yeah, that was the one with the breast cancer awareness hunt.
Right.
We rode around the site the night before, flashlights in all fields, night vision, saw nobody. We get up the next morning, and then within 20 minutes of the people on the field, were being blown up because there's fields everywhere with, unfilled holes and pennies stamped with vulgar messages in them by the thousands. And, it's some hater that triangulated where that site was based off of the public information that we gave. And so that's why we changed it. We changed it to try and make it better for the people that are actually paying, so that doesn't happen anymore. However, I have seen that it is causing some lack of ticket sales. So the general consensus on our board is that it should be changed. I will say that it is going to be in northeastern North Carolina, and I will open up. I will make an official post, when I get off this podcast, basically saying that I do hear you guys. I am seeing it. I will revert it back to like it was, and I will open up the hotels so they are publicly seen. However, I'm still going to keep the digger portal. There'll be more detailed information that will be only available to, paid ticket holders, but I'll make the hotels public.
All right. That makes sense. Yeah. I saw a few people were concerned because I guess they will base how far they have to travel based on the hotel. Not really so much the site. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so if it's at the Marriott Inn over here, that's cool,
Right. Well, I mean, and even saying that though, I mean, I personally, before I ever got into the whole event side of it, I have gone to events where all they say is it's going to be in Virginia. That's it. So I'm interested. I want to go, so I buy a ticket and then I get the information later. That's just kind of my personal view on it. But
yeah, well, DC Diggin agrees with you. He said, I think giving just a state up is fine. Other hunts do the same thing.
Right.
And I know people don't realize it, but there are people that are dishonest in our hobby. There are, you know it because you've detected in, public places, let's say, where you find open holes everywhere and trash. And so, there's real crapheads out there, and it would not faze them. The Nighthawk, a land that was leased for a private hunt, basically.
And some people don't believe it. Some people legitimately believe that nobody has the time of day to do that, but there are people, and it's not just us. It's other event organizers. They do it to them. They sit at home on their computer because they have nothing better to do. And they look at the finds that are found, and then they try and find someone that looks like that on eBay or Amazon or Etsy, just so they can stir some crap to start some drama. It's like that's what they live for.
Oh yeah,
Those people do exist.
there's some miserable people out there.
There
There
really
are
is.
a couple questions.
Sure.
First one was from Danny Boy when we were talking about the wristband, or wherever they put it. If you don't have a wristband, you don't belong there. He said, just a question: would you kick them out, and would there be trespassing charges?
Yes. So we have kicked people out before. We are very strict on. Well, I'll just use the last Digstock as an example. I'm very strict on making sure that everybody starts at the same time. Now, I can't be in 50 places at once, on a 3,000 acre farm, but I try to go to where the massive amount of people are. And at the last hunt, I told everybody they could start hunting at 7 or 7:30 or something like that. And I get a phone call from the landowner at 6:30, and he said, "I thought you said they couldn't start till 7." And I said, "Well, they can." He's like, "Well, there's a guy like stroking off across the field right now, detector in hand, swinging." And so I drove
It
out.
was a father and son from Georgia.
No, that was another one. This was just a guy, just a man by himself.
Oh yeah, well the father and son from Georgia did the same thing because they didn't listen
Right.
when you made the announcement that it's 7. It's not sun up to sundown.
So he and I had a conversation. I told him he had to go. I didn't ban him, but I told him that he couldn't be there that day. I took his name badge, sent him back to the hotel. I said, I kind of put him in timeout. I said, go back to the hotel. You can come back tomorrow, pick up your name badge, and we'll try again. I'm not trying to be mean and kick somebody out. I know everybody's human and they make mistakes, myself included.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was there. I don't remember who I rode with to boot the guy that parked in the wrong area off.
Right.
And that was in the not last year, the year before.
Yep.
So yeah, he'll boot you off if you don't follow the rules. If it's a really big disregard, yeah, you'd probably be banned.
Now I will say, if you, we have pressed trespassing charges, but not to anybody that is attending. We've had people, we've had locals, that have come out and tried to start drama. We've asked them to leave. They came back again, and then we got the sheriff's department involved, and took it from there.
Right. There's a few more things on Murray Tarkington. By the way, hello, welcome to the stream. There's a couple. Richie came in. Murray Tarkington said he just got on, but maybe you can't answer. But has some of this property been hunted before Digstock?
No. So that is a big question that's out there. And just so everybody knows, at the footer of our website, there are about 24 links that has our refund policy, our ticket information policies, the hotel policies, frequently asked questions. 99% of the questions that people ask can be answered at the footer of our website. Right. I will not ever have a Digstock event on the same property unless it is advertised. So no, I've not ever had a Digstock here on this property. No one has ever had an event on this property. And just like everywhere, if you go and ask permission to a site, and you ask the landowner, well, has it ever been hunted before? And they say, no, I've never given anybody permission. That doesn't mean that somebody hasn't gone on there at some point in time over the past 50 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you're asking a landowner, it's as far as they would know, like if the landowners only owned the property for 10 years, and those 10 years, nobody detected it. So it's,
right.
But so the safest way to say it is, as far as we know, nobody individually detected it.
It's not ever had an event on it, and as far as we are told, nobody has ever detected it, but I'm sure at some point in time, someone has swung a coil over that property.
Yeah, and as big as it is, I doubt they found everything. So PA Relics is here. PA Relic Hunters, 513 digs. Get that treasure. GTT. He was at the last one. Let's see. He said he got that VIP. Is it worth it? Inquiring minds want to know. You came in late. We actually went over that. Thanks for coming in, GP. I hope you feel better soon. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, GTT got the VIP.
Nice. Yeah, there's been about, like I said earlier, there's been probably 40 plus that have bought, one of the tiers.
Colleen said, "Do we have to register it on the new site? She can't seem to log in anymore. I'm assuming the old site."
Yeah, so the old site is down, is gone on that server. So when you go to digstock.com now, it is a whole new site. It has been completely redesigned. It's on an entirely different server. I do not ever plan on changing servers unless they jack the price up astronomically. So everything that is done on the new site will be there at least for the next 10 or 15 years. And it is so much more in depth than what we had before. Now, I mean, you can see your points, you can see your everything that you've bought, you can see, down to the minutest detail. I mean, there's a chat option. You can, chat with us. It'll send a link directly to my phone. I don't have to get on my email anymore, and we can talk back and forth on the site. It's going to be a much better and smoother operation moving forward.
I did peek at the website before, after it crashed and came back up. Looks good.
Thank you.
Got the treasurer said I got that top tier trying to ball out. Ken missed the VIP info. I'd say it was about 10 minutes into the stream, Ken, maybe 15. Before we end, we'll wrap up and just make a concise little package for those of you that came in later, exactly what's going on. So I hear you got mentioned earlier about expansion for Digstock.
Yes. So one of the comments that I read earlier was that there was some loss of interest, because Digstock was being held only in North Carolina, and it was kind of taking a nosedive, and I'm not going to argue that. That is the truth. It was taking a nosedive. There were a lot of restrictions before, but moving forward, I can confidently say that hunts will no longer be solely in North Carolina. Within the next 6 months, 8 months, maybe, I will be taking a trip to the UK. I have some contacts over there that are interested in speaking to me about having an event there, as well as I told you earlier, our next two fall events will be up your way, more than likely. There's no contract signed, but there's a 95% chance it'll go through. And then Roots and Relics, will head up events in South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, West Virginia, not just solely in North Carolina. You just hear it on me. Oh, there, we're back.
Yeah, I had a storm here earlier, so.
We crashed your site.
Yeah. I get so many people, 4,700 of them. There are a couple more questions. DC wants to know any hints on the history of the next hunt's site. Any history on it?
Yeah, so there is a if you go to events and you click on tickets, scroll down a little bit, there's a excerpt in there that talks about a brief history on the property. Once you purchase your ticket, you get a link in your email immediately with a password, and that allows you to log into what I'm calling the Digger portal. And it has an AI video on there that kind of welcomes you in and kind of runs you through the steps of what you can expect and all that. And then there's a more detailed, itemized list of information on that property there. One thing that I will say, I forgot to mention this is, and I'll talk a little bit on the history there, what I can talk about. So we're planning this. and this is an idea. I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of bugs to work out, but we are going to go through with it. There's going to be an in-house treasure hunt within this event. So kind of like, kind of like when you come to Digstock or Detecting the Heartland and you participate in Mind Lab's Masters of Metal. It's, a little competition within another hunt. It'll only be open to, I think 10 people, I think is what I said it at. It'll be like $25 a piece. And basically it will consist of clues, codes, ciphers, riddles, time-based challenges, detector challenges, and everybody goes head to head over those 3 days of that event. And it's a process of elimination. And then the winner, will walk away with, a large prize package, detector, headphones, digging bag, shovel, a bunch of gear. And it's just kind of like a little idea to like have some more fun within the hunt. And we will do, we'll do 3 of those events, those little events, over the next 3 years. And then on the 4th event, those 3 winners will come back for free to Digstock, and they will compete head to head in a final challenge, to walk away with another gear package and $1,000. So,
oh, nice. I like that. That's pretty cool.
It's just a little, there'll be like some geocaching thing. It's just a little treasure hunt within the detecting hunt.
That's kind of a little. Some people, they'll just dig straight for 10 hours, and some people, like, little ADD, need a little distraction here and there.
And that will only be available to people that have purchased a ticket, and it'll be first come, first served. The first 10 people that buy it, that's it. It won't be available to the general public.
All right, that makes sense. I get it.
Just kind of another little perk for people that come to the event.
Well, if you guys see it posted that are going to the event, if you want to do that, you better get on it and sign on it when you see it ready.
That'll go live probably in October. It'll go in the Digger portal. Everybody will get an email and it'll say that it's live. So on the history of the site, so this site is very unique, and it is a lot of property, and so we tried to scale it down a bit, but the landowner basically was either take it all or none. So that's one reason we have 7,000 acres. There is a lot of very early 1700s stuff there that is no longer there. Looking at LiDAR, we see a lot of anomalies that appear to be cellar holes. And here in North Carolina, you don't really get cellar holes. You got cellar holes, like I'd say pre-1740. That's when the people, first came over here. They didn't know any better. They dug a cellar hole. They found out that the water table was, a couple feet under the ground. Right. And, they didn't know any better. And then so after, 1740, as people started living here, they started realizing, well, we don't need a cellar hole because it's 90 degrees here all the time. And they just built their house. But there are a lot of unique LiDAR anomalies that have been spotted on this property. There are at least 2 colonial river landings that we know of. There has some Union troop movement through the area. There is a lot of pre-Civil War troop movement in the area. The chance of digging, something U.S. Continental Army or something British is much more likely than a Civil War bullet. I'll say that. Okay. There's a ton of home sites across it. And they range from 1770, to 1940. And there's 100 plus of those. It's a very unique property. There's a lot of stone structures in the woods that we don't really know what they are. They look like stone foundations. The house is long gone. Right. And there is there, as you know, there's a lot of of buried treasure. There is a legitimate buried treasure on this property, and one of the owners of this property, like not one of the owners, the brother of the owner, was very hesitant to let us lease it because of the fact of this treasure. And kind of like we explained to him, where they think it's at, it's probably too deep to even find unless you have a, GPR and you spend some serious time looking for this thing. But there is supposedly a legitimate family documented, diary written treasure, on this property. So that's exciting.
That is exciting. That would get me to go just for that. We got a couple other things in the chat. Richie said, any thoughts of coming to north to New England? And Patty D said, maybe you could hold a Digstock in Texas.
So on the New England comment, we will be up that way either fall of 26 or fall of 27. Nice. Not particularly in New England, but that general vicinity. And then Texas. So I have actually gone to Texas, and I have tried to find an event in Texas, and the only thing that I can see out there that I can find that is, it may be something that Roots and Relics can do. I would, as Digstock, I would have to lease a large cattle ranch or something like that, a large ranch that has a ghost town on it for, 300, 400, 500 people to be able to find enough relics. Right. And that was the problem I ran into in Texas. And I know there are some Civil War camps sporadically spread about, but I couldn't tell you how to find them. And I really, honestly, I don't have the time to try to find them. But I would like to have an event in Texas on a ghost town. And I do have a contact in Texas that we have talked about this a little bit. But I think if anything happens in Texas, it will be through Roots and Relics, not Digstock, on a smaller scale.
Yeah, that's still cool. It's still kind of Digstock,
It's a part of Digstock.
Right. Danny Boy asked, out of the 10 people on a treasure quest thing, out of the 10 people, does everyone walk away with some kind of prize, or is it the top 3? But I think you went over that.
Yeah, so everybody will get something, and that's something that have always tried to pride Digstock in, is you'll never come to a Digstock and walk away empty-handed. Between us and all the sponsors, there's all 5 of us have prize wheels, and everybody gets to spin it, and everybody will walk away with something. But to answer that question directly, yes, if you are one of those 10, you will get something. It's not going to be extravagant, but you will get something just for entering.
Yeah, that's cool. Practical Ken asked, will there be interactive map with some tidbits of history? But I think you kind of went over that because I'm going back on the chat.
So the maps are changing a little bit as well. So before you got a link in your email, that opened up a Google map essentially, and you could see, where parking was, where headquarters were, porta potties, what was off limits, what was in limits. And one of the problems was, especially at the last one, out in BFE nowhere, there's no cell service, and so you click on the link and it won't pop up. And then you have, the older generation that isn't as tech savvy or familiar with how to download an offline version. So now the new map will be a little more detailed, rather than just having a pin dropped on it. When you see that pin will be color coded. There'll be a legend at the bottom that will tell you what that color coded pin means, via the date of the site. And then when you click on that pin, it will pop up an image of the actual map that we overlaid. So you can see that we did see there was a house there. And there will also be an option for a way for people to learn how to download the map if there is no cell service. So you still have access whether there's cell service or not.
All right. That sounds good because, yeah, I remember that. A lot of people
Yep.
didn't have cell service, and a lot of the older people had flip phones.
Yep.
So talking about the buried treasure, Practical Ken said, maybe I should bring my GPR.
You should.
And
You really
Brian
should.
Ollier, hey Brian, by the way, Brian Ollier and LL Loretta just came in. Brian Ollier said, backhoe, Practical Ken, and get that treasure that rents GPR and excavator. Here, Ken got another one. Oh, he was just saying, hit the like button. Get that treasure. Have a good night. He said he's hitting the stack. Totally excited about the next hunt. Thanks for having this live. You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Everybody is wonderful. My sister said, I'm used to smaller events, but excited about this one. Well, Sarah, you got to take your ass over to the Digstock website and order your ticket. As my sister, she just got into detecting, but all she's really done is events.
I got you. How many people are in here right
now? 30.
30. Wow. Okay. So I can, and this is another thing I love about this this new site. And we'll let you do it, closer to the end or now or whenever. If you want to give away a Digstock ticket. And I can actually do it on here. Like there's no more, send me your information. I'll just go on the website and create a coupon code that's a one-time use only. You can share it with them, through chat or whatever. And then they can buy a ticket, they enter their information, and it's a done deal, right here live.
Well, while we have these people here, because people come and people go and nobody knew about it. And I certainly didn't know about it, guys. This was a surprise for me because I had just said to Matt, one of the things was I never asked for anything to give away to inform you guys of anything. To have anybody on Digstock and other people I've had on, I never asked for anything. So I could do it on the StreamYard giveaway tool, which is just a random pick. I think you know what it is, right?
So give me just a few minutes. Let me go in here and create a code. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me go in here and create a code, and I will send you that code through Messenger, so nobody just goes up there and just gets it, and then let you do it.
So what do you want me to do? You want me to use the giveaway tool where they have to comment something?
That's cool. I mean, it's your podcast, ever how you'd like to do it.
I know I don't seem excited, guys, but I honestly am because I never ask my guests for anything. I never infer I want anything. I just enjoy having them and having them talk to you guys too. Especially on the smaller scale such as we are, because if when he gets on the bigger streams, you're not going to get your questions seen. When there's 400 people, 500-600 people in the chat, it's just not going to happen. That's why I like the smaller chats. But I'll set it up so they have to put in a hashtag word. It'll randomly pick them. And then what do you want me to do with the code? I would email it to them?
No, so I don't. Do you have a way to just send somebody a message in the chat?
No, I can't private message them, but I can message them on Messenger. Most of these people.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right.
Give me.
They can also, if they win, they could also. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's it. If they win, they could also message me, and I can give it to them. And you can put it in the private chat on this StreamYard. You should have it says should be private.
Okay, I see private chat. There's nobody in there. Is that between me and you?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Okay, yes, I'll sit it right there.
I gotta find it. They changed it on me. By the way, Practical Ken gave away 5 memberships to my channel. Thank you so much.
All right, so
There.
that is your code.
Okay.
And all they have to do, and it is not transferable. It has to go to whoever wins it here.
All right, that's no problem.
If you can't go, then I'm sorry. But you go to events, you go to purchase your ticket, you scroll through the wording of it and all, fill out the waiver, and then on the right hand side at checkout there'll be a little box that says coupon code, and you just enter that code. And when you go to checkout, it'll give you 100% off of that ticket.
Alton Joyner, this works on Facebook as well. Thanks for watching over there. Chad nailed it. Detecting's in the chat. Everybody keep the positive vibes flowing his way. And Patty Dirtclaw just came in. So what you guys got to do is, Mr. Digstock himself here, like I said, you're the face of Digstock, Matt, has generously said we can give away a ticket tonight. So that's your keyword. I'm going to give you guys, hey, Angie and Rick. Practical Ken said, outstanding. Claudia Lambertson. What? All right, so if you already have your ticket, you don't have to enter hashtag Digstock. But I've got no entries, so.
I will say this, because I know some people that are in here have already purchased a ticket. So if it just happens to be you, because I don't want to exclude anybody. So if it just happens to be you and you've already purchased a ticket to the event, I will give you a free ticket to any future event.
There you go. Can't get any better than that. And Matt's a man of his word. Smog Maker, thanks for coming in. See, I know who the lurkers were because there was no announcement on a giveaway. Yodi said, good luck, everyone. Claudia said, hashtag Digstock. I'm waiting for it to catch up because so far it's only showing 2 entries.
So how about, is there anything else you want to know or any questions from anybody? Because I know there's a lot of Digstock talk. There's a lot of confusion. And by the way, yeah. Digstock's missing an S. It's not Digtalk, it's Digstock.
Oh yeah. Hang on, guys. I gotta fix that.
How much you had to drink over there tonight?
Nothing. Just one Coca-Cola. You know what? Put it in Digtalk. That's my bad. I don't know how to spell. Make sure you put in Digstock without the S so we can get you entered in there. Because otherwise we have to do it over again. I'm gonna keep this up. I'm sitting there looking at it and I didn't even notice.
Yeah, there's a lot of
everyone check your spelling. Here we go. Now we're getting some entries.
There's a lot of confusion and a lot of seems to be a lot of questions on the Digstock Talk Facebook page. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm kind of an open book. I don't mind sharing the meaning behind it. I will say, like I said earlier, after this podcast, I will make a public announcement, on the changes of opening up the hotels. But there is also going to be a blog created on the footer of my site that will kind of explain a more in-depth reasoning behind everything. Like I mentioned to you about Digstock 3. If anybody's interested in reading it and wants to know the reasons as to why the changes and why we're moving forward in the way we are.
Okay, yeah. No, Angie, no passing it off to anybody else. You can't make the one in March. He said you could use it to another one.
That's right.
Angie and Rick are in West Virginia. I just saw somebody put it in Digstock. There you go. Dave Hart put it in. Yeah, it's Digtalk because I don't know how to spell. And we got 33 people watching, 18 entries. Remember, you can't pass it off to somebody. This would be a ticket specifically for you. So I'll give them another minute or two. Ken said, I really appreciate Matt opening up hotel info. It helps with estimating airlines and hotel costs. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, I want people to honestly know, that when they get on there, I'm not like other events where you share your opinion. If it is a bad thing, it automatically gets deleted. Um, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, whether it be good or bad. And the only way that any of us can learn from our mistakes is listening to the bad comments. And I will delete your stuff if you get on there and you're battling between somebody else to see, whose balls are bigger. I'm not doing the whole drama thing. So if you're coming in there to pick a fight, I'm going to ban you. But if you're coming in there just to share your honest opinion, your honest review, I don't have any problem leaving it up and letting everybody read it.
Yeah, like you said, you guys are welcome to check it out. Make sure you guys aren't putting the S in the Digstock because there's no S.
Because Rachel can't spell.
No, I cannot. Lucky I can spell my name. But I'll give them another minute or two. We got 20 entries. I know not everybody's entering. They can't go.
Well, even if they can't go, they can still they can still use it in the future.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, now that now that you heard from that Digstock's not, I mean, yeah, it was convenient too a little bit for Digstock to be in North Carolina because most of the folks that were running Digstock were in North Carolina. So area familiarity, the area, the far, you know better where the open land is that you could, and it's easier to talk to landowners when you're from the same state.
Right.
Ken said, I'd rather pay 2 times as much for a $200 ticket of less maximum. I prefer more cozy events with more interactions with other detectorists and greater chance of finding relics.
Yeah, and that's something, Ken. 7,000 acres. I mean, other events, have 3,000 acres and they put, 3 times that amount of people on it. And technically, I could throw 1,000 people on it, but I don't want to. I want more people to find more relics. Now, it's going to look like an ant mound, with 500 people, crawling over 700 acres. I mean, 7,000 acres. And a lot of it probably won't ever be touched. But I feel like with a lesser number of people on a larger amount of acreage, it'll put more relics in people's pockets than not.
Yeah.
Less competition.
I saw a lot of relics coming out of the last one. I mean, not everybody's going to unfortunately find the cool things,
I mean, you're talking about at 500 people on 7,000 acres, that's 14 acres a person. That's
that's a lot.
That's a lot of land for one person to cover.
Most people here have a 1 acre or a half acre plot for their house. A lot more probably have a 1/4 acre. Just imagine, 440, so 56 houses on a 1/4 acre.
I feel like, I did test this site. I did find some very interesting things. I feel like there is going to be some very unique and rare items that people do not generally get to dig off of this site. I mean, you'll have your common stuff, silver coins and flat buttons and shoe buckle fragments, but I feel like on the military side of it and even on the colonial side of it, there'll be some very rare, unique items come off of it.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait because I always have a good time. I probably still won't be able to detect, but I'll be at the tables with you. New York City's only and best seed hunt is coming up in Staten Island. I know who Staten Island Chef is. What's up, buddy? Yeah, Staten Island History Hunters Metal Detecting Club puts on a really good seeded hunt. It's going to be like, I think, October 6th or something. Offhand, I don't remember, but I will be posting about it because I just got the thing from Lou. Indiana Tones.
couple of
All
days
right,
before
so,
my birthday.
huh?
I said that's a couple of days before my birthday, October 6th.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
Yep.
I'm a winter baby. It's snowy when I have my birthday. I didn't answer. I didn't enter because I wanted to make sure you guys all have the 1 in 26 chance of winning. So I'm about to draw. So Matt, if you want to count it down for the Digstock ticket.
Count down 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good luck, everybody. I'm excited for you. Oh, it was almost my sister. Wasting time.
Nice profile picture.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Chad. You guys can message me or text me or something. Yeah, I know what that is. Wasted time. Most people I know by their channels. So if we're friends on Facebook, send me a message. If not, email me.
And you have
And I will
to
give you
enter
the
that
code.
coupon code just like I put it, with the 2 capital letters and this lowercase. It has to be exactly like that to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to them exactly the way you wrote it.
Okay.
So that's my email address. Unless we're connected on Messenger, you can just send me a message on Messenger. I do get them. I do read them. I know, Chad. It's going on a lot going on too. Hey, Frederick Romano. Tim Silver, congrats, wasting time. Yeah, wasting time. That's awesome. I'm excited for you. I'm actually jealous, but I didn't want to say that out loud, but I figured why not? I'm being honest. Congrats though. I'm really not an excitable person, so I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. There. Claudia said, "See y'all March." Sarah said, "I'm a bit jealous too." Yeah, now you got to buy your ticket, sister. Yeah, I was saying before we did that, she's been to, I think, well, technically 3, but she didn't really do it was my club hunt, and I really couldn't use my shoulders yet, so they didn't bury anything. They just kind of, the ground was too hard, so they just tossed everything. So we had to.
Right.
I was like, oh, there's one right there. Pick that up for me, and pick that up for me, pick that up for me. But she did 2 other events. Got to get her out. William Larkins got my son's tickets yesterday morning. Awesome.
Now,
But
if you
you have
haven't, now I will say this: if you haven't gone over to the Roots and Relics website, it's not up. From the best of my understanding, they're still working on it.
Okay.
But there is a box there where you can subscribe to their newsletter. There will be, the day they go live, there will be an announcement of a dig on that side in either December or January, I believe. I can't remember the dates, but so to be informed about that hunt, make sure you sign up for that newsletter so you get that information.
Right. I'll have all the links in the description. Actually, in the comments. I think I do have the links in the description, but I gotta edit them so that they're clickable. And then I'll pin a comment with the links as well. For some reason, I couldn't comment on my own live before it went live. It was weird. But so I'll have all that. You guys go back and check that out. I'll have the links. Links are in the description, but you can copy and paste if you're on your computer. So I think Smog Maker. I thought I lost you. Thought I lost. Thank you, Matt, for the free ticket for one of us. I will be signing up. Awesome, Smog Maker. Hope to see you there. Alton Joyner said this is going to be an amazing hunt. Happy digging. So anything you want to wrap it up with before we head out? I usually try to keep it a little shorter.
No, not really. I think I kind of covered it all. I just want to say, I know I said it earlier, and I know some people weren't in here to hear it, and I'll just reiterate it again. I know there are some concerns, I accept those. I hear you guys. I will make the change. I am also aware, that that Digstock was broken in multiple areas, but I can personally promise you that if you will just, stick by me this year into next year through this hunt, we will take it back to what it used to be, and it will be an amazing adventure, like, once again.
I'm looking forward to that. I know you guys are too, and I know some of you can't attend hunts, so you watch them through their videos. Practical Ken makes videos, Lucky Duck makes videos. When I'm back to being able to dig again, I'll make videos. I might just make one while I'm there, and just I couldn't even really walk around last year. I wanted to, like man on the street kind of interviews,
Right.
and I don't know if you could tell, but I really could not walk around last year. But hopefully, I want to do that because then it'll give it like a different perspective at the event.
Yep.
I'm not going to edit anything. They can tell me how they're feeling and what they're doing. Like what they found, how they feel about whatever they want to talk about. I'll edit out cuss words, but who all's associated as part of the Digstock team?
So Digstock is just me, and then I have a board of advisors that have chose to remain anonymous, so I will not mention who they are.
It's not me. Patty D, have a great night too. By the way, please everybody in the chat say happy birthday to Patty D. I feel horrible that I didn't realize it was yesterday because Facebook doesn't like to tell me anything anymore. So make sure you say happy belated birthday to her. Lucky Duck has a Digstock playlist of the 4 events she's attended. There's a lot of YouTubers that go. There's a lot of videos. Ken said he'd be making videos of the Digstock. This Digstock. I still need to release for videos from the previous Digstocks that he hasn't edited yet. So yeah, thank you again, Matt, for the ticket. That was awesome. Truly, honestly, was. I was not expecting that. I appreciate that very much.
No
I appreciate that for the returning viewers, the new viewers tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hope to see you again next week. I don't know who will be on, but somebody will. Probably just me. I don't have any friends, so just me. No, I'm only kidding. Mark the Berg Hunter will probably be co-hosting with me again next week. He's a little under the weather, so send him some positive vibes too, as well as Chad in the chat there. Little positive vibes his way. Timothy, I don't think I said hi to you. He's part of my club. He's having a birthday hunt on the 17th. That's this coming up Sunday. So yeah, thank you, Matt, for coming on.
I appreciate it.
Hang out for a second when I stop the stream, and I will see the rest of you next week. Be kind to each other. It takes nothing, no effort at all to be kind and smile at somebody. And happy digging if you're out digging, and if you're not, stay in the shade. It's been really hot. So peace, everybody.